builds the steeple record.
Does it?
Yeah, it builds the steeple record. That's
Not bad.
Must think because nobody knows how to steeple in detail.
That's positive 24. Oh, I have this written down wrong.
All right, for AB,
I had it
let's
written
see,
down wrong.
what do we got going on here, for that one, Esther?
25, 4, 17.
Ooh, I like the 25 and the 4. Take those, Ian. 33
Valid.
and negative 9.
We're just gonna validate
All right.
that now.
So for the 33, second row, first column. So you got a 2x5 by a 5x2. So that means that the two middle dimensions are the same, and then the outer ones will be the solutions. Will be a 2x2. So you get the 33. You take 2 times 4, which is 8. Negative 3 times 0, which is 0. Then I got another 8, so I'm at 16. Negative 1 is 15. And then 18. 6 times 3 is 18, so you should get 33. And you should get negative 9. So just double check those in terms of your calculations. All right, any questions there?
I got 17
For which one?
for where the 33 is.
You got 17?
Yeah,
Well, what'd you do wrong?
I don't know.
2 times 4, right?
Yeah.
Plus what?
Negative 3 times 0.
Okay. Plus what?
Negative 4 times 2.
Negative 2. Plus what?
1 times negative 1. That's 6 times 3.
6 times 3. So I get 8 plus 0. Make sure that's a positive 8. Plus negative 1 plus 18. So you said you had 17?
Yeah.
8 and 8 is 16. 16 minus 1 is 15. 15 plus, I don't know what you did. Unless you put it a 0 here. No, that doesn't even make sense.
If you made it a negative 8,
So
that'd make it 17.
Yeah, I got
Negative.
17 the first time because I wrote down an A wrong the first time and had it to positive 3 negative.
okay.
Yeah, because if the 8's negative, the 8's
All right. So
negative.
we'll just double check what you got there.
Isn't that what you did? Yeah. All you gotta do is make 8 negative. All I gotta do is square root it.
All right. Let's see what. Let's see if you can think through this one here.
No.
You need to come up with a matrix, matrix B, and take your initial matrix times your new matrix B, and it's going to equal negative 23, negative 2, negative 19, and 14. So go ahead and at least write that down for now. Take a look at this. What you think? How we can come up with that matrix? First thing I want you to think about, what dimensions does the matrix B have to be?
If I just put it like
Sarah, what dimensions do they have to be?
2 by 2 because.
Okay,
Sorry, do last one.
it's got to be a 2 by 2. This is a 2 by 2. The solution's a 2 by 2. So that means you have to have 4 spots. So think, what do you do to multiply? All right, so if you're stuck right now, so think about this. It's got to be a 2 by 2. Write it like that. All right, think through it. See if you can come up with what A, B, C, and D are.
I don't know. It's a lot, right?
In the division.
That doesn't feel right.
I'm just putting my calculator.
It's not,
Why not?
because it doesn't work.
What do you put in your calculator? The matrices? Oh, divide them.
That has to equal -3.
Side that is the B matrix. Second matrix B divided by second matrix A. That's unfortunate. Data type. What does that mean?
What does it say?
Error data type.
Yeah. I don't think you're right.
Long value of variable type entry. Attempt to destroy the matrix to a limit. Attempt to destroy the matrix. I typed it in right and then I divided.
Just copy on that. Okay, save everybody some time.
Well, that would save time if my calculator's not dumb.
This is your calculator's fault.
What, do I have to get a better calculator to do that?
You gotta get better mind. Okay. All right, Ty, you got some answers or you got a question?
Would you set this up like a system?
All right, yes. Now, if you're stuck or you're not sure to go, at least, all right, work through this. Now, some people are like thinking, hey, maybe I can divide. We haven't done any division of matrices. You can't. Go through the process of, all right, how do you multiply matrices? So you take row times column. So this row times column has to equal what? It's got to equal -23. It's got to equal that. So that's going to be 2a minus 3c has to equal -23. Well, you can't solve it from there. You don't have enough. So go ahead and list, what do all four cases look like? So what's going to equal -22? What's going to equal -19? What's going to equal 14? Okay, so think row times column and then set that up. Now to get the -22, you take 2 and -3 times b and d. So I take negative, actually it'll be positive 2b minus 3d equals -22. All right, do the other two. All right, -19. Adrienne, how am I going to get that -19?
6a plus 3c.
6a, yep, 6a plus 3c. Not plus 3c.
That was for something different.
It should just be 6a plus 1c or c equals -19. And then over here, I'm going to get 6b plus d equals 14. Well, I kind of set them up nice because I know what's going to happen. I said, do we do a system of equations? Well, here's what we got. I got two equations with an a and a c. I got two equations with b and a d. So yes, you want to group those equations together and solve. And so for the, they're very similar because they all have the same coefficients. For the first set, I'm just going to multiply that by 3. And I'm going to write it right underneath there. And I get 18a plus 3c equals -57. And I'm just going to bring that first one back down there. It's 2a minus 3c equals -23. All right, I get 20a equals, what is that, -67, so -80. Divide by 20, you get a equals -4. All right, go ahead and figure out what c is, figure out what b is, figure out what d is. Go through the systems. And while you're, no, wait. Oh, what do we get for C? It's -4. C is 5?
Yeah.
Okay, and then D, if B is 1, D is 8? That's a bad D there. D, 8. So I'm gonna put it in -4, B is 1, C is 5, D is 8. Okay. So at this point, you're like, all right, how do I do that? We got to multiply, or we got to use our system equations. Can't divide, but we got to come up with a way that there is a way that to get this from the left side to the right side. Okay, in terms of multiplied by the reciprocal or something on those lines. All right, homework wise. Whoops, this is not your answers for 41. This is the original problem. I just want to go through a couple.
Wait, no, that's
Make sure you're good.
always good.
Always. All right, 17. D. Take a look at 17D. Dominic, what'd you get for that?
5, 6, 5, 18.
Okay, correct. 5, 6, 5, 18. For E, Jackson, what'd you get for that?
17, 25, 15. Ooh.
Are you on 17?
Yes.
Oh, Jackson. What? All right. What dimensions is that? So you said 10 and 2. Then what'd you say?
25, 15.
25 and 15. So you did a 2 by 2. So, all right, it should be 10 and 2. You got that. I got 5 and 11. Okay, 5 and 11. And what one was that? Was that A plus B squared?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Jax, I'm giving you a chance to redeem yourself. What'd you get for F?
6, 3, 23, 9.
Oh, or dig a bigger hole.
Oh,
Oh.
All right, what are you doing wrong, Jackson? I don't either. All right, what is A, Alex? What's the A equal?
A equals 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. What's B equal?
-1, 0, 2, -3.
What do you get about?
Did you copy him down right, Jackson? All right. So D was A plus B squared. So when we add those together, I got 0, 2, 5, 1. Okay, and then we're going to square that. Now don't forget squaring means we write it down twice. 0, 2, 5, 1 times 0, 2, 5, 1. And we go row by column. And so 0 times 0 is 0, 2 times 5 is 10. I think you had the 10 right. 0 times 2, 2 times 1, 2, looks like. And then 5 times 0 plus 1 times 5 gives me 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 1 times 1 should give me 11. Okay, for that one. So just make sure, that, like I said before, sometimes you can square them and you just want to square the individual terms. Not that what Jackson did, but I see that a good bit. All right, F, which is 6, 10, 23, 13. Double check that for F. All right, 35. Thomas, is that the one you have a big question mark about?
Yeah.
All right, what are the original problems?
2,
What's the dimensions? Is this A?
yeah,
What is it?
2 by 3,
Okay?
and then 3 by 2.
Okay, what is it so?
That's right.
2, -1, 0, and then -3, 1, 2.
Whoops, positive 1, 2. Okay, what's B?
1, -2. Oh, I was going down.
Going down?
Yeah.
Were you going down for this one too?
No.
Tommy.
Oh, Tommy. 1, 5. No. Okay. 1, -2, 4.
Oh, God.
And then 5, 3, 0.
Are we even close to right?
No.
No?
Yeah.
All right, so AB, this is a 2 by 3. This is a 3 by 2. So it's going to be a 2 by 2, the first and the last. And you're going to take row times column. And so what does that give me for the first one? AB, 2 times 1 is 2. -1 times -2 is 2. Add those together, you get 4. 0 times 4, that's nothing. So you get 4, it looks like. And then you move to the next column. First row times second column. 10, negative 3, 0, 10 plus negative 3, 7. Second row, first column, what's that going to give us? Negative 3, negative 2 is 5, plus 8, 3, looks right. And then the last one, negative 15, plus 3 should be negative 12, and then you get a 0. Then when you flip the order, you do 3 by 2 times 2 by 3, you're going to get a 3 by 3. All right, so make sure you're careful on that. All right. Lastly, 41. AB, what do you got for go across the row, if you would, please? AB, Lizzie, what do you got?
I got 10, 7, 2,
Okay.
7, 19, 4, and 10, 1, 0.
We agree? All right. And Mason, what do you got for BA?
7, 4, 5, 0, 8, 3, 19, 18, 14.
19, 18, 14.
In AB, it should be 4, not 14.
Oh, for that first one? 4.
Good looks.
I didn't know.
Lizzie.
All right.
Lizzie.
Come on.
No, she got it right.
I wrote it wrong.
Mr. D laughed.
You
I just blame Lizzie too.
You know, I think you need a nap.
You might need one. All right, game plan here. Looks like, I think it's gonna line up to have the chapter test Thursday. We're gonna do chapter, or 9-3 today and tomorrow. Split it up a little bit, and then 9-4 Monday, and that gives us kind of the Tuesday, Wednesday to kind of finish things up. So it looks like Thursday. Now, I think that's the comp sci test. How many comp sci people we got? All right, so we'll figure it out. And I know there's a lot going on. There's a physics test Wednesday, there's comp sci,
It's also AP history or something.
also AP US history. So, and then what's Friday? Any tests on Friday?
€8.
AP Euro?
I think you should just pass
Yeah.
those.
I won't be here Monday, Thursday.
Just gotta find all the practice.
For which one?
AP guys.
So Monday you won't be here? Okay. All right, so between Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, you gotta find a time to take the test. All right? Or. So if you're taking it, the AP comp sci, you got nothing, you're probably taking it on Friday, that's fine. Wednesday would be difficult because I know you got the short period for them, but we'll figure it out one way or the other. We'll get it, should be able to get it done next week at some point. All right, I'm gonna give you some guided notes here in 1 minute, but I need you to take a look at this. Now, without, hey, listen up. Without doing any work, just kind of what is your instinct? It says find a matrix B such that A times B equals A. Now, hold on here. And it means it's got to be a 2 by 2. So I take this times this equals that. We can do the whole system of equations, but just kind of, anybody have a gut instinct of what those numbers should be? What can I multiply by that to get back the same thing? Okay, Mason, what are you saying here?
0.
0 everywhere?
No, 1. 1.
1 everywhere.
Hold
One and 0.
What's that? You don't know? First of all, can it be all ones? 1, 2, -1. Whoops. -1, 3. And then if you think, now here's what initial instincts are. I'm just gonna make that all ones. But what do we get when it's all ones? You get 1 times 1 and then 2 times 1, which it gives me what? 3. So right there, we're done. It's not all ones. Okay, so it's not like regular multiplication, but we gotta find it.
Connecting with like 1, 0, 0, 1.
All right, she says 1, 0, 0, 1. Well, test it.
No, that's.
Okay. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 0 is 0, which gives us what? 1. 1 times 0 is 0. 2 times 1 is 2. And negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. 3 times 0, negative 1. And then negative 1 times 0 is 0. 3 times 1 is 3.
Half and half.
Half and half. All right, let me give you these guided notes.
God knows a little bit late.
A little bit late. Sorry.
So when we get through like a quarter of this page, we head up the home.
We'll get to the back.
You have great faith.
Oh, I got this.
Is this the only one in English? If
I'm gonna win.
Adrian, imagine taking English.
No, guess what? I'm 100%
Champagne.
Wow. Such a good thing. I never took English, so.
Oh, you can drink champagne.
I took regular US history.
I got you.
I had a part of, and then I always had the highest score.
Oh yeah, you took regular US history too. When I was
I didn't study for any of those tests.
I remember walking into I studied for my other midterms. I didn't study on. That was the highest grading on all the big two.
Well, I didn't study for it at all, so I got a 95 without studying, so that's fine.
Yeah, like.
And then I finished so early, I asked if I could go read the reference for my whole page. And I left.
That's my dude.
Because Kate and Ryan literally all do a full score.
We carried some. I feel like Peyton Riley won exactly.
I know.
Especially Peyton.
Let's see that.
I didn't care.
I think it helped you guys.
You submitted it, we didn't want to.
Oh yeah, we go over calls.
Well, I didn't.
Okay, and then you guys help me at like English. We don't take the English one together.
Yeah, but Riley had a different one for some
Yeah, because
reason.
she was in college.
Oh, what's with Pete now?
All right, Kate, couple things here. So you figured out that's 1001. Let me go back to real numbers. And when you, what times 5 equals 5? And that's obviously 1. This is what we call multiplicative identity. That is when you take something times the original, you get back the original. So for matrices, we label it with an I. So for a 2 by 2, it is 1001. That is the identity. So if I take that times another 2 by 2, I get back the same thing. Okay. If it's a 3 by 3, it's 100010001. You just have ones down the diagonal. That's what's going to do that. You can only have an identity for square matrices. 2 by 2s, 3 by 3s, 4 by 4s. And so anything, so A, matrix A times the identity is always going to give you matrix A back. What we want to know is the inverse. So we want to create two matrices that multiply together that give me the identity. So that's this next piece here. That's the next piece on there. So if you got two matrices, they got to be square. If A times B equals the identity, but you also have to check B times A because remember, it's not commutative. If they both equal I, then B is called the inverse of A. Okay. And so take a look here for this first one. It says, a little bit here of terminology. Something's called invertible or non-singular if it does have an inverse. Not everything has an inverse. So then it's called singular. All right, it says show that B is the inverse of A. That means show that A times B equals I and B times A equals I. All right, so let's take a look at that. Now we just multiply them together and see what they equal. So A times B And that's going to be 1, 2, 1, 3 times 3, negative 2, negative 1, 1. All right, just multiply and get. You do your row times your column. And that gives me 3 times negative plus negative 2, which is 1. Negative 2 plus 2, which is 0. 3 plus negative 3 is 0. And then negative 2 plus 3 is 1. So that's a good start. You got 1, 0, 0, 1. Remember, that's your identity. Identity is that 1, 0, 0, 1 matrix. B times A. All right, flip the order. 3, negative 2, negative 1, 1. Times 1, 2. Okay. So when I multiply those together, I get 3 times 1 is 3, plus negative 2 is 1. I get 6 plus negative 6, which is 0. I get negative 1 plus 1, which is 0. I get negative 2 plus 3, which is 1. Since they both equal the identity, A and B are inverses. Okay, A and B are inverses. Now, the next thing we want to do is you want to be able to take a matrix and find the inverse. I just gave you the 2, you checked it. Now we want to find it. That's what that little bottom piece there is. For a 2 by 2, it's not bad. This is the formula right here. You do have to take AD minus BC, and then you flip the D and the A, and you negate B and C. So flip it over on the back. All right, those are 2 separate matrices. Just copy down A for now. We're going to find the inverse for both of those. I'm not telling you they're inverses. Like I said, those are 2 separate problems. All right, this is A. Find A inverse. So A inverse equals 1 over AD, which is 5 times 3, minus BC, which is 2 times 4. And then we got switch the 3 and the 5. Whoops, hold on, sorry. Switch the 3 and the 5, and then negate the 2 other ones. And we just want to simplify it a little bit. Well, what's this constant going to be? It's going to be 1 over 7, 3, negative 2, negative 4, 5. And go ahead and distribute that constant. So just multiply it inside, and I get A inverse equals 3 sevenths, negative 2 sevenths, negative 4 sevenths, 5 sevenths. All right, if we are correct, what should A times A inverse equal? 1, 0, 0, 1. And if you go the other direction, A inverse times A has got to equal 1, 0, 0, 1. I'll do that in a second if I get time. I don't know if I will. Here. All right, what's B inverse? Okay, what's B inverse? Well, what happens when we do 1 over 3 times 4 minus 6 times 2? What's that equal? 0. There is no inverse. Okay? It's what we call singular. Singular. Okay, so that is B. All right, finding the inverse, that's going to be kind of the key here.
Yeah. Show
Okay. Yeah, 10, 11, and 15 are kind of like that first one. You just want to multiply those two together, see if they equal I, the identity. And then 31 and 32, you want to find the inverse. Okay, so they give you the two, you multiply them together. They only give you one, you got to use that formula for that.
Let's get one problem done and give up.
That's your typical pattern.
It's better than somebody's class.
I guess you can always find somebody you're better than if you work hard enough.
Practicing the field house through the fourth community.
Is it still raining?
Check. It says it's raining. It says 64 rain right now, which is just handy. 3, 2, 4, 3. Determine whether A and B are inverses. Oh, so I can't just assume. I can't just write them all down.
That's why you gotta multiply them out.